because do you track macros?
No.
Neither of us track macros. It's working out pretty well.
Say so. Especially for you.
What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of CBG Radio Podcast, brought to you by Consistency Breeds Growth. I'm Joel Jacobs, and I'm always joined by Justin, the WOD nutritionist, and the lovely Gab. And y'all better quit tracking macros. If you haven't figured that out by now, I'm just going to keep saying it every time. So quit tracking those macros. And but what we got today to talk about is we're going to give you 7 foods that shed fat like Ozempic. Yeah, that's right. I said it. And it's going to help you look like a games athlete. Who wouldn't want that, right?
Everyone.
Now, obviously, you got to follow your blueprints and you got to be consistent. But these 7 foods are going to help you get there. So we'll start with the first one. My favorite. I mean, I love, Gab knows when I was, working with her like every day, right? You were getting pictures of this every single day, the same thing. Breakfast is always with eggs.
Yeah.
So tell us about eggs. Why is eggs one of those awesome foods? Who wants to go first?
Justin, you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So obviously protein, right? I mean, that's number one. 6 grams of protein per egg. It is a whole chicken, literally, right? Like it is a whole chicken. That's what it has, literally everything, right? In one centralized location in an egg, right? They have all 9 essential amino acids, which is great. They're packed with vitamin D, choline, other vitamins and minerals like iron, phosphorus, selenium, zinc. I mean, you name it, right? Great heart health with eggs. They have omega-3 fatty acids, helps with weight management, satiety, right? And they taste like, I love eggs. I eat eggs every single morning. I change around poached versus scrambled. I mean, absolutely amazing. Boost the immune system. Super affordable. Freaking eggs all the way. 100%. I'm an egg guy. So superfood. It will help you look more like you do 4 to 5 watts per week if you eat them consistently.
It's true. I want to throw in an honorable mention here, which is egg whites. Of course, egg whites, you're going to get all of the protein, none of the fat. Now, listen, that's not to say that fat is bad, right? We tend to think of fat as something that we need to stay away from. Healthy fats are super important in your diet. But if you are looking to maybe be on the lower calorie side, or you're looking to decrease your fat, or you would prefer to get your fat sources from something like avocado or peanut butter, then egg whites are a really good way to go. I like my clients to think of egg whites as the protein source. Again, affordable, super easy. You can make them the same way, right? You can scramble them. You can use them in other things. I like to make pancakes in the morning and I use egg whites. Delicious. Really good way to go. Really easy thing to kind of incorporate in to add more protein. Yeah, can't say enough good things here. There is a I like to call it like a breakfast epidemic, I think, that we face, where people are either not eating breakfast or they're grabbing like crappy sugary cereal. Eggs are so easy to make, to prepare, to eat quickly on the go. Highly, highly, highly recommend if you are not a breakfast person or you are skipping breakfast, you don't know what to eat, you're eating crap. Let's make eggs a thing. Egg whites, whole eggs, scrambled, sunny side up, whatever. Doesn't matter. Eggs.
Make breakfast great again.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, no, I love eggs, and I did. I'm a mixture of, because to get the protein to meet my blueprint protein levels, I had to mix liquid egg whites in with whole eggs, so that I didn't go over my fat, but still was able to get close to my protein in the morning. So
exactly.
So yeah,
Joel, I taught you so well.
I got you, bro.
I am amazing at my job.
All right. We love eggs. All right. Let's bring up the next one. Let me stop sharing that. All right. Next one. White potatoes. That might surprise people, right?
Yeah.
Surprise.
I love white potatoes. Mashed potatoes, French fries, not fried, air fryer, right? Baked. Absolutely great choice. There is, so a couple of reasons I love white potatoes. Great carb source. We obviously need carbs to crush our wads, right? So that's number one. Number two, it's a great source of fiber, which is good. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a bit of fiber inside of white potatoes, which is great. Yeah, it says there 3.8 grams. Additionally, it is the number one food on the satiating index. Now, the satiating index is a list of foods in ranking order, the top being the most satiating, which means keeps you fuller for longer, right? All the way to the bottom that doesn't keep you full and you can basically eat it all day, right? Now, the way this list is created, it's the volume of the food plus the fiber of the food, the water content in the food, and then the calories are taken into account, right? And it brings together a food that keeps you fuller with a lower amount and that allows you to feel more satiated and less likely to overeat. White potatoes is the first food. It is number one above all other foods on the satiating index. Absolutely unbelievable. This will help you shed fat like Ozempic and help you look like a games athlete. I recommend it. I eat potatoes every single week. It's a staple for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
I
goes
think
well
it's
with eggs in the morning.
That is true. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's really important that we kind of discuss the elephant in the room here, which is that white potatoes in general, right? But in this instance, white potatoes are a carbohydrate. And a lot of people that I talk to are scared of eating carbohydrates. They're afraid it's going to make them gain weight. They think that carbs are the enemy. And they've been kind of brainwashed into thinking they need to be on a low carb diet. And something that I think is really important to understand is that protein, which everyone seems to be totally cool with, is 4 calories per gram, right? Carbohydrates are also 4 calories per gram. Now, fat is 9 calories per gram. And again, I don't want to vilify fat, but if we're talking about the hard numbers here, carbohydrates have less than half the amount of calories per gram that fat has. So if we're thinking about, should I be eating this carbohydrate rich food, which is very satiating, which has plenty of vitamins and minerals, which is very low in calories and fat, or should I be eating something else that maybe is much higher in fat, but it's lower in carbs? And the answer is no. At the end of the day, controlling your weight is going to come down to mostly the amount of calories that you are taking in versus the calories that you are burning. And so when we look at a carbohydrate like a potato, we're seeing something that's going to make you feel very full. It's going to give you energy, but it is also low in calories, low in fat. Really good option for people that are trying to lose body fat. So don't be afraid of your carbs. Don't be afraid to eat things that are simple. I would say if you're going to eat the potato, maybe just like watch the butter and sour cream and bacon bits and all that stuff that we tend to put on them.
Yep. Nice.
Sure. I like doing the like kind of like a scrambled bowl. Throw in some of those, kind of hash brown type of potatoes. Good mix in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
All righty. Next one is another staple.
Rice.
Yeah.
I'll let you take this one, Gab. You're a rice girl.
I am such a rice girl. So, I mean, honestly, my conversation is going to be exactly the same kind of as potatoes. We are talking about a food. It is a carbohydrate. It provides the body with very, very important energy. Carbohydrates are our body's number one source of energy. It breaks down into glucose. Glucose is what we use for energy. If anything that isn't stored, or rather anything that isn't used, gets stored as glycogen in the muscles for later use. It is what fuels our wads. It is what fuels our training. It is what fuels our brain. You are going to be in a very high source, or I feel like I haven't had enough carbs with the way I'm talking right now. You're not going to be able to think clearly. You're not going to be able to just approach your regular life if you are not eating enough carbohydrates. So what's a really good way to get some carbs? Some simple, very easily digested carbs. You're going to go for rice. Oftentimes I'm asked like white rice versus brown rice. And I think the answer on a very basic level is, what do you prefer? If we're talking to a high-level athlete and they need something that's going to digest faster, we're going to talk about white rice versus brown rice, which is going to take a longer time to digest. At the end of the day, the differences between the two for the average person are really not great enough that we need to worry about it necessarily. But ultimately, I think the benefit of rice is that it goes well with anything. It's inexpensive. You can make it kind of go with anything, right? You can have rice with chicken. You can put rice with eggs for breakfast. You can have rice with teriyaki sauce. You can have rice with salsa. You can really make it very different with every meal that you eat. And at the end of the day, it has a really good amount of carbohydrates to fuel you. It's extraordinarily low in fat, and it has a little bit of protein. I love rice. Big fan of rice. If you are afraid of carbs and you're skipping something like rice, please reconsider. You need this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think brown rice has the bran and germ in it, and white rice, it's removed. And brown rice has a little bit more fiber, digests a little bit slower. Other than that, basically identical. If you prefer white rice, eat white rice. Love it as a carbohydrate source. Yeah, definitely a great carb source for, if you're doing 4 to 5 watts per week, you want the energy, rice is a good option.
What do you guys think of so for my like pre-workout carb, I like doing rice cakes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I'll do like because I know that you say avoid fats, right, around workouts. So I do I just scrape some peanut butter on the top of it, like the smallest amount, just so I can get the flavor of the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And then I do I usually have like a banana, and then I do just a little bit of honey, just again for the flavor, because I don't want to do too much honey because I don't need all that carbs. But yeah, does that sound like a good pre-workout snack?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great choice. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Excellent. See, when you guys help with a podcast, you get free coaching advice from them. So, all right, let's move on to, oh man, now we're talking my language here.
Oh,
nice.
Steak, baby.
Yeah. Love steak. It is very slow digesting. I prefer dinner time for the steak. Don't want to be trying to digest a really packed, nutrient dense protein source throughout the day. Some people digest it quicker than others, but man, loaded with protein, obviously. And I would say amongst all of the meats out there, probably the most nutrient dense of them all. And so I love steak. So when it comes to steak, has obviously the B12, vitamin B12, right? And iron, which are awesome for overall energy levels, which is, what we're looking for, right? Very rich in iron, and can help people obviously that are iron deficient or have anemia, helps with oxygen transport. You got those B vitamins in there as well. It has zinc for immune support. It has phosphorus, which supports bone health. It also has omega-3 fatty acids, that very similar to eggs, right? It's it makes you satiated and feel full, which is really good. It has a high thermic effect of food because of just having so much protein in it. And it also has creatine in it. So creatine is naturally occurring in foods. We usually can't get enough from food, so we supplement. Creatine is in steak. I think it's 0.5 grams of creatine per 4 ounces. So not enough, but nonetheless, really great option. And then you got elk steaks and so many other like variations that are packed with different micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff.
I'm going to add to this by suggesting the lowest fat, like the leanest cuts of steak that you can get. Eye of round, top sirloin, bottom round, filet mignon, flank steak, sirloin, tip side steak, strip steak, and skirt steak. These are going to give you the lowest fat cuts. Same high protein, same, delicious eating factor, but going to give you the lowest amount of fat. Obviously, not all cuts of steak are created equal. Some are going to be higher in fat, some are leaner. Leaning toward the leaner side is going to be a good option, especially if you're trying to lose body fat. But nonetheless, the benefits are tremendous. So definitely recommend some steak here. What is your favorite way to make steak? Like, what's your favorite type of steak? How do you like it?
Who you asking, me or Justin?
General.
All
I
right.
usually grill.
Yeah.
Grill.
So
Skirt steak, usually Costco. Skirt steak, freaking yeah, so good.
I do love
Nice.
skirt steak. My wife Candace loves skirt steak. The best steak I've ever had in my entire life, and I will put it up against any of you East Coast people, and wherever you get a steak at. Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse in Cincinnati. I'm telling you, if you're in the Cincinnati area, you are going to go to a Jeff Ruby's, and you're going to get. Now, my favorite there is a ribeye. So this is I'd probably consider this a recovery meal, right? Because it's a ribeye. It's going to be high in really, really high in fat. That ain't fitting in my blueprint.
Yeah.
But it literally is the best steak I've ever had in my entire life. And I've had some other good steaks in other places, you know, and I'm just like, that's the comparison for me. Jeff Ruby is a 10. Everything else gets measured up to what that is. So you guys are ever in the Cincinnati area, I'm going to take you to Jeff Ruby's and show you what real steak tastes like. So
All right.
there you go.
Cool. My dad is a chef. He makes a filet mignon that'll make you question your sanity.
Yeah. All right. Filet mignon's not my favorite because I like there to be some more char. That's the thing that Jeff Ruby does is he gets this char on it. He like broils it or something like so hot that it chars it and it's like perfect in the middle. Filet mignon's a little too much for me, I think.
Joel, how do you like your steak cooked?
The way that steak's supposed to be cooked, which is medium rare.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The way you were talking about char, I was like, if this guy says well done, I'm hanging up.
We're gone. I'm kicked off.
I'm out.
Yeah, you got the power too. You just be like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah. No, but that's why it's so good, is because he chars it on the outside and then it's still medium rare.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'll get off my steak soapbox so we can move on.
Next.
All right, let's go to. Oh wait, you got to get that one off. No, it'll switch automatically, I think. There we go. No. Oh my God. All right, oats.
Nice. Very satiating food, which is good. More than rice, I would say. Just fills you up. Good amounts of fiber. Oats are like, you can live to freaking 100 years old if you eat oats every day, I feel like.
True.
Oh my gosh. It's definitely an amazing food. Loaded with vitamins and minerals. I mean, if you want to lose body fat, you want to stay satiated, you want to crush your wads, oats, get after it.
Yeah. I want to throw in some anecdotal evidence here. Whenever I am currently changing my own blueprint to reduce my body fat, whenever I'm in a cut, I start my day with at least 1 full cup of oats. I find that front loading my carbohydrates gives me a lot of energy throughout the day, but something about starting the day with oats specifically gives me way more energy, makes me feel way better. I love oatmeal, just my favorite food, which I know is a crazy thing to say, but I love oatmeal. But oats, between the fiber and the satiating factor, between the amount of energy that you're going to get from the carbs, again, the versatility. You can eat them hot, you can eat them cold, you can add fruit, you can add peanut butter, you can add whatever floats you. And inherently, there's a good amount of protein. So you're not just eating these, sort of carbohydrate heavy, but that's all it has. It has so much to it. Really controls your blood sugar for anybody out there who is struggling with that. They're just so great. Very slow digesting. So my grandmother used to say, I don't know if anybody else has ever heard this, but she used to say that oatmeal sticks to your ribs, meaning it keeps you full for a really long time. I thought that was a thing that people said. I think my grandma's just crazy. No. But delicious. Really, really good. Highly recommend, especially if you are trying to lose body fat. And the name of the game is, how can I stay full for as long as possible? Oats are such a tremendous way to go.
How do you cook? What's your go-to way of fixing them?
So for probably 2.5 years, every single morning I ate overnight oats. So I would take my cup of oats in some unsweetened almond milk, throw in a small handful of raisins, do a little bit of peanut butter, leave it overnight, eat it first thing in the morning. Protein powder, give it that extra. I like mine to feel like cement. And then recently, because it's very cold now, I'll do them warm in the morning. So I prepare it the same way, but instead of almond milk, I use water. I toss it in the microwave. It's hot. It's delicious. I find it's a little bit more filling when it's hot. So if I'm working out on the earlier side, I'll opt for cold because otherwise I feel like I'm still very full. But if I'm working out a little bit later, I could do them hot. And then lately, because I have an incredible client who gave me an amazing recipe, I've been doing essentially, again, all the same ingredients with some egg whites instead of milk for the liquid. I can put them on the skillet and make a pancake. It's freaking awesome.
Okay. All right.
Man.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
All right. I might have to give that a try. That's that recipe you sent me, right?
Yeah.
That was that you had on your story or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to give that a try.
It's great. I'm finally not burning them too, which is really such an accomplishment for me.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. You got anything on oats, Justin? Or are we ready to move on?
Yep.
All right. Let's go with blueberries. We're gonna get a fruit in here.
Yeah, fruit, antioxidants, also super filling. 1 cup is like 15 grams of carbs. I mean, you can eat blueberries all day and never get overweight. And so, yeah, burning fat like Ozempic, eating blueberries. Get after it if you want to start improving that body composition. A really just great source of carbohydrates and antioxidants, which aren't present in a lot of the other foods we mentioned so far. So I'm glad we got this one in.
Yeah. Justin, I had a client the other day ask me, is fruit bad because of how high it is in sugar? Obviously, I know the answer, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So the main and primary sugar inside of fruit is fructose, which is where fruit came from. That's the derived word, is from the sugar fructose, right? Fructose, which is primarily stored in the liver, right? Which just where it gets stored, right? Like that's just how it goes. And so when it comes to sugar, I think a lot of people demonize it because we know that a lot of the higher sugary based processed foods are also high in calories. So people are starting to associate high sugar or sugar in general with high calorie foods, which we know are bad. That's like saying people that eat ice cream are more likely to get attacked by sharks. We know that that's not true.
Does not equal causation.
Right. Exactly. So
maybe they take
because it's warmer outside. Like that's the actual causation, right? And so we have to keep this in mind. Now, do we want to just be overeating sugar and no, right? That's inevitably not going to be good. But when it comes to sugar in general, in moderate amounts, especially through fruit, it's a great opportunity to get in those antioxidants, really keep you fuller for longer. And it's been shown that people that eat fruit and more fruit in general are they lose weight, right, more consistently over time than people that don't eat fruit. And so it's just people crazy talking online. So eat fruit. Fruit's great. That's all.
Yeah. Use your common sense. If you are currently eating Ben and Jerry's and you think to yourself, well, I don't want to eat blueberries because they're high in sugar, you need to rethink some things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There you go. There you go. All right. The last one. We've got another protein source here. Going with tuna.
Dude, I eat tuna every day in Hawaii. Like I got a poke bowl when we went 2 years. Every single day, I was like breakfast poke bowl.
Yep.
I was like dinner poke bowl. Like so freaking good. I love tuna raw, just still swimming on the plate.
I love raw tuna as well.
So good. Oh my gosh, so delicious. Yeah, obviously, great fats in tuna, which is good. Very low in carbohydrates, so it's going to be your ideal protein source if that's what you're looking for. And you're low on protein, you have trouble getting protein in, go for the tuna. It's absolutely delicious, and you're going to be a better person, athlete, mom, dad, mother, father look better, feel better if you eat tuna. Eat it.
All right.
Yeah.
Justin loves himself some
I
tuna.
love tuna, dude. So good.
He's like, you're going to make more money. You're going to have a better car.
You're going to be a millionaire, you know,
Yeah.
all that. I just bought a new car, actually. So
Nice. What'd you get?
I got a Porsche Cayenne.
What?
Nice.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah.
That's nice.
He's coming over.
All black. It's freaking sick. Yeah, it's going to be
Great.
like amazing for like another 3 months. And be like, oh yeah, it's just a car, you know. That's how it goes. But it's nice. It's cool.
That's awesome, dude.
End of the year thing, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a new Metro card, so you know we're both playing with the same deck here. I want to say something quick about tuna. I often have clients who say to me, "Hey, you know, I'm hitting my vegetable goals, I'm hitting my fat goals, I'm getting my carbs in, but I need more protein and I can't eat more chicken. What do I do?" And so my answer is always grab yourself a can of tuna, crack open the lid, and go for it. I don't care if you want to mix it with something. I don't care if you want to make some kind of sandwich or whatever. But if you just need a little bit of extra protein with each meal, crack open a can of tuna, eat it out of the can with a fork. Like it tastes good. You can add a little salt and pepper. Oftentimes I say, listen, you don't necessarily need to add mayo. I know that's kind of like the popular way to do it. That's going to add a lot of fat and calories. Add a little bit of mustard, add some hot sauce, like whatever floats you, something that isn't so creamy and high in fat. Mix it in there, eat it. It is super high in protein, very low calorie, very low fat, very low carb. It's going to help you hit that protein goal without adding in all this extra unnecessary stuff that you can get elsewhere for more fun things. Love tuna. It's such a simple way to go. Again, inexpensive. And I can tell you from experience, if you have a cat, you can share. The cat's going to love you even more. Boom.
There you go. Good stuff. I like the seared ahi tuna.
Oh, so good.
Like,
oh yeah,
that's like, oh my gosh, where they just do just a sear on the outside, but the inside is still raw.
Swimming on the plate. Just,
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is some good stuff.
And while we're on the subject, you know, a lot of times people will ask me, can I have sushi? Does sushi count? Is that a good option? And so my answer is yes. You can get a lot of these things in there with your sushi roll, right? So
Rice
we want to
and tuna.
avoid exactly. We want to avoid tempura, anything that's been fried. We want to avoid like too much of the avocado or too much of the really thick like cream sauces, like those spicy mayos and stuff. But a tuna roll with cucumber, rice, and seaweed, amazing. You're in the clear. That's delicious. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's so good. The spicy tuna rolls are like my go-to. But you have to get, like you said, you have to get the spicy tuna roll that doesn't have the mayonnaise stuff on it.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna skyrocket your fat intake for sure. All right.
Cool.
Well, that is a good list right there. So that does it for us on the 7 foods. And so there you go. 7 foods that will shed fat and like Ozempic and help you look more like a games athlete, especially if you're doing 4 to 5 WODs a week. So now, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, that list is awesome, how do I piece it all together in a daily intake? Well, then you need to book a call if you're not already a client, and you need to get with a CBG coach. They'll assign you to a coach, and they'll figure out a blueprint for you, and they'll figure out how to make eggs fit in, and they'll figure out how to make potatoes and all that good stuff fit in. They'll tell you when to eat the rice before your workout, all that stuff. They lay it all out for you. So if you need help with that, which I would say that probably most people do, then book that call and get signed up with CBG. It'll help you, and you'll be glad that you did. So that's all we got for today, for today's episode. We appreciate y'all. Quit tracking macros and stay consistent, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.
Peace out.